and then we begin. Those who have questions, you can please direct them to the chat section for Andrew to pick them up. And remember, you're the virtual attendees, you're the online attendees. We have physical attendees here at AET, quite a number of guys around. So we are doing this both ways. We are doing it virtually and also physically. If you feel like you can join us physically, we are at AET if you're in Mbarara, but we are glad you guys are joining us virtually. So this is DSC Mbarara University, which is a developer student club. And again, like I always say in our sessions, this is a flagship for Google developers. If you went out there and they asked you, are you a member of DCS club? And you said yes. And then someone asked you, are you affiliated with Google? Yes, most people think that we are, but in actual sense, we are not affiliated with Google. Instead, we are affiliated with Google developers, which is almost a different entity from Google itself as a company. So on the screen, we have our social media pages, that is on Facebook and Twitter. We're also on LinkedIn, and we have a WhatsApp group. If any of you would like to join that group, you can always let us know. There is a form for you to fill and you'll be part of us. So today is our very last event for the year. We have had quite a couple of events. We had an info session, we've had the Firebase Summit, we have had DevFest, yes, and over the last 2 days, we had the Chrome Developer Summit, which wasn't so much big, but we have had those sessions, and this is the 4th session for Android Study Jams. We've had new to programming track where we had 2 sessions, introducing Kotlin to new beginners into programming, people who don't know anything to do with programming. And then we had period to programming. Now this is a session for people who have at least done something in programming. They know they can write a piece of code. So this is our 2nd and last session for this year. We will be crowning down the whole Android Study Jam stuff. And hopefully after the event, after today, in a week's time, some of you may be able to receive certificates from the Android team. Yeah, this is, you get to have a certificate to show or to attach to your CV that you did this. So, welcome back for the people that were with us. Welcome back and congratulations if you try to attempt the Kotlin core ones we had in our previous session. I know most of the people, especially the IT guys, I can see quite a number of you here. And that's because I was talking to your lecturer last night and he told me you guys would be here. Yeah, you're welcome. I know Kotlin's a whole new world. Some of you haven't been into it. You're doing Java, but never mind. When I talk about Kotlin core ones, I'm just talking about something any programmer can do. It's nothing different. So welcome back. And for the new members, thanks for joining us. So for the people that have been with us here, for the people that have been with us, Andrew, Ezra, Edgar, we've also had Caroline. Caroline is off right now, but she's also been with us. What did you guys realize, or what did you notice about Kotlin? Or even if you really knew about Kotlin and you've heard about it somewhere, what do you notice about Kotlin? I mean, what is Kotlin? You can talk to us in the chat section. You can say maybe Kotlin is a pet, Kotlin is a burger, you know, or cheese, anything that you really know about Kotlin. Stuart, who was Stuart James.
Yes.
You've always tried to invade me. I don't know why, but good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see
Pardon?
you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Okay, so would you mind telling us about what you think Kotlin is? What do you notice about Kotlin?
Okay, with all due respect, Kotlin is a new language to me. I'm used to the Java side of Android. For
Okay.
Kotlin, it's a new. Yeah.
Okay, I do really take that. Kotlin is entirely new to most of us, but just like Java, it's not new. It's also an object-oriented language that we can use to develop lots and lots of Android applications. If you cannot hear me well, please let me know in the chat section. We're just having technical issues, but still okay. So for the people that have been with us, we've shared quite a lot. This is the fourth session we are having, and there is a lot that some of us have learned on this journey, Android study jams. So it's the same thing that I would really ask of you, like what did you notice about Kotlin? Yeah, it's the same thing like sharing with us what you've learned about Kotlin or what you've learned about the Android study jams. Is there anyone who would like to share with us? Oh, there are physical guys who are with us here. Here to share with us what you've learned about Kotlin. Okay, sorry, the virtual guys may not be able to hear what the physical guys are talking about, but Ivan Isiko is trying to say Kotlin is a flexible language. It enables you to be more productive when you're doing, when you're coding, when you're programming your Android applications. It is very fast, it's productive, it's flexible, it can and reminder to the people who are sharing in their recorded. Okay, so if you don't want your face to appear on YouTube or anywhere where we shall share the video, it's okay. You can mute your video or camera. So this is the Android study jams prior to programming experience. The track for our track, and we have had two tracks. That is new to programming, and then this is prior to programming. And this is our second session. We had the first session last first session last Friday. And here are the prerequisites for you to be part of us, to be part of the Android study jams. You need to have experience in at least one OOP language. If you've done Java, especially the IT students, then that is good because Java and Kotlin are both OOP languages. You should be comfortable with using an IDE, for instance, Android Studio or JetBrains, that is IntelliJ from JetBrains, or any other IDE, for instance, VS Code. So you should be comfortable with that. And then you should also be familiar with navigating around GitHub. Most of us try to outlook the importance of GitHub in our programming journey as developers. Let it be web or let it be mobile or embedded systems or anything. GitHub is a very important component. It's a prerequisite for us on this journey. And of course, you should at least have a computer because we're trying to open Android Studio. We are trying to connect Android emulators and of course, an internet connection for both who are physical and for those who are joining us virtually. Suzanne, you're welcome. So, and of course, an Android device, let's say your phone and a USB, these are optional. You could be having an Android emulator, which is okay, but if you don't have an emulator, then you need an Android device and a USB cable. And just a recap of what we had in the first session for the new people that are trying to join us today. We did one is just, as I said, a piece of code given to you that will deliberately create an error at runtime. Yeah, I gave you a piece of code knowing that when you do try run it, you will get an error. Now, the reason is for you to debug. When I give you a piece of code, I want you to debug and, do it the right way and run, then achieve what that piece of code intended to do. So in those core ones, we did functions. We tried to look at Kotlin functions. We had default and named arguments. We're going to see some of this as we progress. We tried to do strings. We did ranges, null safety, lambda, classes. Of course, Kotlin being an object-oriented language, that means it has classes, because we cannot create objects, we cannot do inheritance, polymorphism, if we don't have classes in our language. And then also we had collections. In collections, we try to relate this to lists. If you've done Python, we have lists, we have dictionaries. So this is becomes collections in Kotlin, where, for instance, you want to store a list of marks for students. It could be like an array, but in this way, in Python, it's a list of marks. So in Kotlin, we now call it collections. And also, we did filters, we did mapping. You can map, let's say, a student name to their marks. If I have 50 in Android and my name is Weasley, then you can easily map me into a collection. Then we also did extension of functions. So that's basically what we had in the first session. So I'm just going to allow you guys to unmute and talk to us about why you're really interested in building Android applications.
Hello, sorry about that. We got disconnected. Those guys complaining about volume. I don't know if everyone is complaining about volume. If you're complaining about volume, just type on the chat yes, so that we know what percentage of guys are having issues and we try to rectify. If you have volume issues, just type on the chat, please. Ezra? Anyone with volume issues? Pierre, Suzanne, you guys, I don't know about others.
No,
Ezra, you raised a hand.
actually, yeah, I was going to talk about Wizzy's question, but I think these guys of volume have intervened. So let's first sort them out, then we shall talk about it later. Entire amount.
Okay, if you have volume issues, please say yes on the chat. It may be your audio output that has no volume, or because I'm physically here, so I can be online and physical at the same time, so I wouldn't know what. Pierre, are you hearing me very well? Suzanne? Edgar?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you hear Weasley well?
Yeah, I was hearing him.
So what's the problem with Suzanne and Pierre?
I don't know. I guess it's her sound. Her device has a problem.
Susan and Pierre, please check your audio devices and make sure that they're okay. But for the rest, I think are good. So if we're talking about the quants, if you guys if you did finish the progress tasks, you must finish them. Allow me share my screen a bit as I wait for Weasley. So here we go. So guys who have just joined, I remember I already I communicated those who came early. For these sessions, we will be giving you certificates, and at the same time, Google gives you a badge for completing a course. So for this case, we take Kotlin as a course that DSC Master is giving you. So I don't know if you guys can see where my cursor is, just here where you read Kotlin. And below that, I have a green bar that is showing my progress. I'm going to share the link for you to do these tasks, because for you to get a certificate, you must have finished 60% of these tasks. For my case, it's 98% because I'm done. But for you, especially guys who have just joined, who didn't participate last week, you have 6 days, no, at most 5 days to finish up this progress to above 60%. It's not a hard thing. For guys who have already done Android programming, the IT guys, this will look easy for you. But for guys who are completely new, it may be hard. That's why if you're on the chapter page, you could send a message, and we, the leads, will be able to see that message and give you a feedback on what you're supposed to do. That's only if you join the chapter page. I'm going to share the link to the chapter page. Copy this and put it on the chat for guys who have just joined. I want you to get on the chapter page so that you receive information about everything that takes place in the DSC. Remember, for you even to get a certificate, you must be on the chapter page. It's a must, because in normal cases, we're supposed to give only those who are in the chapter page. Let me switch back to Weasley, because he's back online. Weasley.
Okay, sorry about that. Someone knocked my charger and everything. The adapter were connected, so everything went off. Sorry about that. So we are back. Yeah. So before I left, I was asking you guys why you're interested in building Android applications. What interests you programming? You can share with us what you think on the chat section. We'll be able to read and know why you're interested in this. So these are the things you can do with Kotlin, and things that you're going to learn how to do with the Android study jams. This is the intention, that at the end of this program, you can be able to build applications on your own, okay? So you can do a dice roller, you can do an about me, you can do color views, you can do mega things. You can graduate from just doing a dice roller to a very big application, okay? For instance, guys, if you're not really hearing me, then let me know, and also it could be your internet connection. So just let me know. So this is today's schedule. I'm afraid today we may have to push in for a much longer time. We have had a presentation, but we need to go and do pathway 1 have a break, do pathway 2 and pathway 3. And of course, like we always do after the sessions, celebrate. Andrew, I demand him my Rolex after this session. Last time he dodged me. So yeah, that's what we do. That's our schedule for today. So the concept overview of what we are trying to handle today is we're going to run into our Android studio. I hope everyone has their studio open, running without issues. We're going to dive into it ahead and we see what we can do. Can we write a piece of code that can turn into a mobile application? Of course, you will need an Android emulator attached to your Android studio, or you may need to have an Android device with you and a USB to connect. That's if you don't have an Android emulator. Okay, so basically, we're going to also try to see Android layouts. How do we do layouts in Kotlin? How do you have a space bar? How do you have, how do you have a nav bar? How do you have, let's say, the body where you're going to put an image, where you're going to put your stories? Let's say it is a blog. So those are layouts that we are able to do with Kotlin. Then we have views. Now, when you have a layout is just like a holding place where you can put your image, whether you can put your button, whether you can put a text. So these are just views. I'm going to put my image here. I'm going to put my button here, but that button has to be on top of a layout. Okay, that's how Kotlin does it. And in that way, it's easy for you if you have specified that, like if you have 5 layouts, then Kotlin surely expects you to have about 5 views in those layouts. So you don't struggle so much. Once you lay down how your application is going to look like, then everything becomes so easy for you. Okay. View groups. To have one layout holding so many layouts, just holding maybe just one text view, or holding a button, or holding an image. We can also have a linear layout where we have about 2 text views or 2 images, and then together with them in just one layout, and then we can have the constraint layout. So you should take note of how those layouts look like. You're going to after the other view, but in a constraint coming side by side, and then a button on the button, need to take that we have. So how do we do our layouts? We do our layouts just like you do it in Java. We use XML. XML is a very powerful language. We use it to do our interfaces, our layouts. So if you're going to have hello world, you're going to have a button, you're going to add an image, then XML got you covered. So you see the beauty of Kotlin is if you were coming from Java, then it's easy for you to integrate to Kotlin because you already have the backup, you already have the knowledge of having done XML. You've done those layouts, you've done your interfaces, and all you need to do is come to the back end part. That's where you apply your Java, that's where you apply your Kotlin. To see my patience, please, I hope you consent that your video will be shared everywhere because this call is being recorded. So anything that is on my screen is being recorded and it will be published. Okay, Councilman Annette, thank you for joining us. The same thing is, if you don't want your face to appear in the recorded video, it's okay. You can turn off your video. Oh, I see you raising a hand. Would you eventually? Okay, so this is how we declare our layouts. If you want to declare an image, then it has to be an image view. This is a text view where we get to declare like a text a string called hello world, and that's what appears on our screen. If we were to run such a piece of code, this is what would appear on our screen. So for the Java boys and girls, I hope this is not really new for you. So the anatomy of just having a basic application or basic project in Java, I mean in Kotlin, is you have activities, the same thing we have in Java. So also in Kotlin, we have activities. Maybe the main activity. Okay. Then we have our resources. We also have our resources where we can put our layouts. That is the XML files where we have our images, where we have our strings, themes, and any other thing that will have to be part of us, part of the project. Then also, you need the Android manifest file, which cuts across every programming language in Android. There's always an Android manifest file. And then, as usual, you need your Gradle files. You need to get all those dependencies downloaded or locally into your project. So this is these are the basic parts of your project. You have your Kotlin activities, which would be the other side, Java activities. Then you have your resources, then the Android manifest, and the Gradle files. So if you have that, you're basically good to go. So here are the logistics of doing that. The Android Kotlin fundamentals, which is the course we are doing. And then this course is divided into 2 tracks. The new to programming for people who don't know or have never programmed in their life. And then the period to programming, which we are trying to do right now. So we're going to dive into the track. There is a link here, g.co/android/study jams. If you open that link in your browser, I'm also going to open it in my own browser here. But if you open it, it should take you right to the Android study jams. That's where we have all the materials, all the resources that we use for these sessions. These resources are open to you. You can always use them anytime you want. You can even go back to what we've been doing all along. You can also go forward and do a lot more than we are doing here. So I hope you guys are loading that. I've loaded mine, and yeah, I'm going to be sharing that for you to view. A minute before I share that. Okay, so let me share my link here. This is the website for Android developers. If you're an Android developer and you need all the resources that you want to be able to access all the resources, examples, materials, then this is where you go. And this is where we've been going always, for us to access the information and resources Google has provided to us. So, like I said, we've had the new to programming track. If you're really totally new to Kotlin, I advise you that in your spare time, you can access these materials here. So you just have to click on Start Course, and you will get a basic, layout, a well-curated curriculum of how you can go about that. We just have 2 units, the Kotlin basics. We have the views, the text, the buttons. They are all in the new to programming track. But now today we're trying to do the period to programming. So last week we had to start on koans. In the playground we had koans, trying to go through the pieces of code and see what they do. Okay, so if you're going to do koans, this is very important. Excuse me for a minute, I need to find a way of connecting these guys who are physically here. We've had issues with the projector, so just a minute, I'll be back.
Oh, okay. So I'll be sharing the link to the tasks. We just get my machine ready so that let me copy this link and send it to you guys. Okay. So recall, for you to do this, you must have reached 60%. I wonder why it's not sharing. Yeah. So once you click to that link, it will take you direct where you are to do your tasks. Try to load and see how the display page will. Yeah, so here we go. I think you can see this is the beginning part. So this is the run button. Once you finish writing your code, you just have to press the run button to see if your code is fully working. If you have any challenges, of course, you are a programmer, so you will have to find a way out. So for me, I have already moved a bit, but for guys who have just joined, you really have to start from the introduction part. Progress check for the certificate is strictly 60%, and your certificates will be available next week, latest next week, end of next week. But for only those, 1, those who are on the chapter page, 2, those who have reached a progress of 60%. I hope I'm clear. And yeah, that is it for those guys who have just joined. Guys were there last week. I believe you guys have already done something out of this. I expect you guys to have gotten done with the points. So let me try and see something here. So I have already done my part. That's why you see these other parts are ticked. But for guys who haven't done, these parts are not really ticked. We have a to-do section. For example, if I eliminated this and tried to run my code, it would show an error. You get. If this happens and you really don't know what to do, check your bottom right corner. your bottom right, do you see this part where it shows show answer? Just click there and you'll have a solution. Please don't get stuck. Only click the show answer part when you're really stuck. We encourage that you really try this out by yourselves because you're here to learn and you're not here just to do copy and paste and all that. So if you're really stuck, of course, some tasks are really hard. That's why we encourage you to join the chapter page, because if you have issues with the tasks, you just have to post a message on the chapter page and we will answer you. I'm already seeing a few guys on the chapter page. This is a list. This is not like any other club where we'll be coming and passing in a registration list. No, our things are strictly digital. We pass on a form that you'll fill to join our WhatsApp group for the club. And after passing in the form, you'll be asked to fill this. So I have already a few guys inside. I hope you can see the list is long. So if you haven't joined, please be able to join before the fall of the day and before the fall of the week, before you actually do any tasks ahead. With that, I think Weasley is ready. So I'll switch back to Weasley. Weasley, are you ready? Okay. Yeah. Okay, then let's see my screen.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to connect up the projector with the guys who are physically with us. So let's try to dive into the Kotlin koans. For the people that are just joining us, we've been doing Kotlin. This is the fourth time we are doing this. Matthew should be knowing that. Yes, the communications are on the WhatsApp group that you guys just ignore. Anyway, so Kotlin is not new. It's just like Java. I understand you guys are doing Java, okay? So it's the same. And the advantage with Kotlin is when you go into production, if you have a vision of being an Android developer and you have the knowledge of Java and Kotlin, trust me, you will end up doing Kotlin. Why? Because it is very flexible, it is more productive, and it integrates with Java. So you may reach in Kotlin and you say, okay, I think I've forgotten a package for this in Kotlin. It's you've done the layouts, the XML files, the buttons, the images, the text views. It's the same way we do it in Kotlin. So the only thing that changes is your activity. The activity changes from being Java to Kotlin. And you write essentially the same, related code. But Kotlin becomes very fast. In production, it is, right now it's the official language for Google. If you want to do Android apps, they prefer Kotlin to Java, okay? So over the last sessions, we just did koans, and like I said, koans are just, I will give you a piece of code, which I know will give you an error at runtime, but this is intended for you to debug. Like, I just give you a piece of code, I know where the error is, and then it's your work to find the error, correct it, and have your piece of code running. So we have lots of koans here from the introduction part. We did hello world, which is always the first. Named arguments, how can you do named arguments in Kotlin? We did default arguments. And then other guys went on. I'll request Ezra to share his screen in a very short time. He has done basically all these koans, okay? Let's try to attempt them and see how they work. So there are so many, these codes introduce you to how Kotlin runs. How do you write Kotlin code? And you can always see how easy it is. If you're going to write, for instance, the default arguments. On this side here is the Java code you're supposed to be writing. and it's one hell of a big code, like lots of lines. But then on this side here, this is the Kotlin code that does the same thing. So you're going to write very few pieces of code to do the same thing that you would be writing hundreds of lines in Java. So it becomes more productive. I mean, if you're writing very few lines of code in minutes, then you're being more productive than someone who needs to write hundreds of lines. So this website is available for you. All the resources are available, everything that you need. So you just need to go do one koan at a time. If at any point you really feel stuck, yeah, we have the laser button that is show answer. Yes, you can show the answer. They will show you the piece of code that was missing in the koan, and when you put it there, everything will run. So in that way, you get to know your Java side, and then you get to know the Kotlin side. And later on in your career, you can choose which one you want to use. Okay, so we did all these koans, the conversions. How can you compare pieces of code? How can you compare your values? Let's say you've declared variables, and then this variable has your marks in maybe mid-semester, and then this variable has the marks in end of semester. How are you going to make comparisons between all that information? In the range, you want to find data maybe in the range of 500. So there's always that. There's a piece of code for you to do that. Just have to write a class called date range or data range or year range, anything. So I'm not going to really focus on these koans. I was just trying to show you what we did in our first session. Let me admit in these people. Okay, so today what we are supposed to be doing is basically this. Yeah, we are supposed to head up to this website, Android developers, and then start the prior to programming course, where we need to explore Unit 1. Unit 1, and you guys will have to explore Unit 2 on your own. That's how we do it. It's a peer-to-peer learning, where if I do something small, you can join us in doing the bigger part, or you can go and learn on yourself, because at the end of it all, these resources are available, and you get to have badges that show that you did this. So let's explore. Have the okay. So this is all we have in Unit 1. We are supposed to build our first Android app in Kotlin. And this gets to, you get yourself introduced to Android Studio. We've done the Hello World in our previous sessions. And then we can now build interactive apps. Yes, we can do the dice roller. We can do the birthday cake application, and you keep on building that. Then we have the layouts. Yes. And then they also show you the number of activities you need to attempt for you to get done. So just building your first Android app, you have 3 activities. Just 3 things to do, and you're done. Building an interactive application, 4 activities. And then they show you a progress bar of what you're supposed to be doing. Then from layouts, we have navigation, activity fragment, and then the life cycles. So with that, we get done with Unit 1, and we go to Unit 2, which you guys will need to attempt on your own. And be reminded that at the end of this, because today is the last day, I'm supposed to sit down with the core team. That is Andrew, we have Ezra, we have Ezra Tumsime, who is our events and planning lead. We have Ezra Rodney, who is the public relations. We're supposed to sit down and evaluate how you guys have been participating, performing, and then I have to submit your names to get certificates for Android, which I believe should be delivered by Friday next week. So this is the last session. This is the last event for today, for the year. But I will have to sit down and we evaluate you guys. I'm not sure whether those who have just joined us today will be eligible for the certificates. Yeah, but we have certificates for this. Yes, Andrew says you need to go and attempt the Kotlin core ones. Yes, you need to attempt those core ones and not have less than 60% for you to be issued with the certificate. From Android. I mean, this is a certificate that you just get to attach to your CV and no one will question you. Like, I don't think you know Android, and you say, okay, here is the certificate. And they will shut up. They will know that you did this, okay? So, okay. So let's try to check into our first pathway, building your first application. Installing Android Studio. I guess most of you really already have Android Studio. If you don't know how to install Android Studio, you can go to CodeLab and they will show you step by step of how to do that. Most people in installing the Android Studio just go for the setup. Click, install, next, finish. And then they forget that there are other packages that you need to have as you install. And then getting started, yeah, let's try to go to Code Labs and see what we have there. So when you go to Code Labs, this is what you get, this is what you get to learn, and this is what you get to do: creating a new Android project, creating an emulator, running your Hello World, and then exploring the Android manifest file. And then you can always click on next. This is how the application should look like. This is how you're going to create your project. So these are just step-by-step processes of how you can run and build your first application. These are steps, guidelines on how you can run your application on an emulator. Most people don't know how to invoke that virtual device or even how to create one in Android Studio. So we have all these steps. And the beauty of this is Android, okay? Though Google lets us do it in Kotlin, it's basically Android where more lessons or in your Java world. You need to know how to create and run your application on a virtual device. In Java, we also need it in Kotlin. We also need it in Flutter. So at the end of it all, whatever knowledge you gain here can be applied anywhere, since we are all trying to do is do Android applications, no matter the language. Okay. And okay, so you can also learn how to run your application on a physical device. If you have your phone, there are steps you're supposed to do. There is that funny part where you go to your phone settings, tap on build number, and they always tell you that you're now a developer, right? Yeah, they'll tell you it's fine, you're now a developer who doesn't know how to write a piece of code, but it's fun. And then the coding challenges, which are oftentimes optional. And then, of course, the summary, how you can learn more. So everything, all these resources are on Code Labs, which is integrated within the Android website. Then the next Code Lab, we try to look into the anatomy of basic Android projects. So how this curriculum has been designed is that When you cover a step, then automatically you get ticked for it and you earn a badge. Yeah, people have been earning badges. Google recently launched a new platform specifically for developers, only developers. Let me share this with you. Yeah, this is the platform for developers. It's still in the beta version. That means they're still trying to find out the bugs, make it look better, and it will be open to all developers. So you can create your profile, everything that you do, every Google technology that you get to use, and you've excelled. So you get to share your badges, you create your profile, it becomes a CV for you. You can always, when I ask you, okay, what have you done, what have you learned, you simply share your platform, your profile to me, and I can check. So these are some of the badges. You can have your favorite badges. You can have all the badges that you've collected. You've been part of the Dev Fest. Yeah, you have a badge. You've done introduction to Kotlin. You are participating in Android study jams. We had the 2020 solution challenge. Yes. So this is a very good profile for you. I hope people get to create theirs. So then always there is a quiz that you can take if you feel like you've passed through the steps and you've understood what you were doing. Then you can always take a quiz. You fill in here, you have objectives. For instance, what is the name of the auto-generated layout file in every new project you create? Yeah, Jesper. What is the name of the auto-generated file, layout file, that every time you create a new project in Android Studio, it's automatically generated. By default, it's always there. Whether you're doing Java, whether you're doing Flutter, whether you're doing Kotlin, it's the first file to be generated, and it's always there. It's what? Layout file. Yes. Really? Remember, file is what where you get to do the button. Yeah? Yeah, it's main activity. Of course, there's main activity.java, which is not a layout file. Then there is activity underscore main.xml, which is your layout file. By default, you always have that. Yes. So, like I said, with this now, if you've gone through if you've gone through these steps, then you take this quiz to show that you really understand. Okay. So there's there are not so many questions. So when you're done, you just click on submit, and you're done. Okay. So let me check here online on the chat for Edgar. Edgar is not with us. Just left. Ezra. Jet Ezra.
Yes, Wizzy. I've been caught up in some way. I was kind of part-timing. I had another
Ezra, we can't hear
other
you.
event.
I can't hear you.
Hello, are you hearing me now? Can you hear me?
Hear him? I don't know. I can't hear you. Other guys say they can hear you.
Okay. Do you
Ezra, your background is really noisy.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you have Android Studio running on your machine?
You know the problem with my machine. I can't run Android Studio, but I've been following up anyways.
Okay, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I wish Edgar was still here. Someone should have dragged Edgar into here. He was around, but he left. Okay, Ezra, could you share your machine for us and try to go into the Kotlin playground for the last part of the co-ones? That is the conventions?
This previous work I've been doing.
Yes. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and to
Okay.
do that now.
Okay.
Are you able to share?
Soon coming. I'm coming. Wait. So, are you guys getting me? Can you get my screen now?
Yeah, we can get you.
So this is it.
Kasime Annette, please mute your video.
So, Mr. Wesley,
Yeah, Wesley is out a bit. So, you have any questions? You have anything you want to tell him?
I wonder why he wanted me to share the screen. He wanted me to show the rest how I did this. Yes? I think
You have an Android Studio running. Is your Android running?
He wanted me to show the coins, not the Android Studio thing. I told him my Android Studio can't
Yeah, you should go through them. Like a few, just show them what collections. I think you're doing collections. Okay, just do the collections. Because we finished introduction and conventions last week. So we'll just show them collections and depending on how big it may be.
Man, this is big. There's something here that was small. Was it? What does? Let me see. Yeah, this. Can we go through this?
No, that is really so far because we can't. This is progressive. It's from introductions, then conventions. It's like a topical thing. So one point leads to another. So if you just jump to builders, it would really not correlate. So let us just do like 3 on the collections, and then we get that. We finish that, and then of course this is prior to programming, so they'll continue with the rest.
Yeah. Now here, the first thing was here on this. So they were saying, if you read a lot throughout this and you see what they wanted, you are saying we implement an extension from shop.get set of customers. So an extension from my cursor. Wait, let me see. when we look at this test shop, we have these products. We have them, they are given to us. Actually, it's a big thing. Cities, whatever. It's a lot of stuff. And now, so now here in this, they were saying we change. So for example, this, they were trying us to implement these extensions. They are like Kotlin built-in functions that will enable us change the products the way we have. But a string converts the name and the city name to become strings. And that's what I think they wanted us to implement here. At times I will miss out on the parts they wanted because they are already implemented. So if I misfire, you guys tell me where I'm going wrong. So, but you see here, they wanted us to harness the power of this dot string, which converts everything to a string. That was this. Then here we are converting to strings. Then now here we are going to filter. We still have our test shop. Then now when you look here, implement extension functions, blah blah blah, using functions map and filter. So they wanted the list to be this var number list of, then this. Then you see they are giving us numbers dot filter. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So, oh wait. And this one is changing anyways. Now I think here they wanted us also to change where. I don't recall where the change was supposed to be. Wasn't it here? Also, here we are still implementing this. Let me see. So you guys, I can't figure out where they wanted us to change exactly because they are already implemented. I've already implemented most of them. So I can't know where the to-do was, where they were putting the to-do. So I don't know if how I'm going to get that.
Okay.
Yes?
Do you see the revert? Do you see
The revert.
the revert button? Do you see the revert button?
Yes.
Yeah, click you revert. Revert will take you back to initial.
I'm not in the mood of programming now. Okay, let's use one for filter. Then here. Wait, filter.
Have you reverted?
Let's begin from here.
Did you revert?
So this, then we revert. We have these two. That's why they wanted us to change and put something like return the set of cities the customers are from. Now shop.get cities customers are from. Now they wanted us to put this, implement this here. So that's why we had the brackets. Do I still recall how I did it, you people? Then it was this members.filter it equals 0. Map and fill. I'm loading. No. So they want us to implement this. Let me see. Dot. Is it like that? I don't recall.
Which part are you doing? You're doing the filter?
I'm doing the part for filtering using the maps and the map function and the filter function. But if I'm running out of how I did them, let me first do. Yeah, okay, I'm fine. It's fine. Then to set. I was just not confident about what I did. So this
you
this
always have
it.
to set it.
Okay. This IT is like it is initializing the whole of the class containing this, the shop. Now we are calling the city, then we are initializing, we're calling the function called to set, meaning that it is transferring it to a set function. Then even here, I think it will be the same. They are saying return a list. Because here they are saying we return it the set. Now this is the function that is turning it into a set. Now here, to list, it will be this. ID of the customers who live in the city. Dot city. Dot customers. Is it that? Then dot in. Let me first see that if it's true. Okay, we are not mapping. It should be customer. Dot map. While moving these brackets here. This is how we are taking advantages of this map function. Yeah, dot. Then here to set. Then here also it is. This should be customers. Then this should be also customers. Then now we are filtering. We are taking the use of the filter function. Then here we are not doing this, but where the city equals the city we are looking for, then don't need this, because after all, this filtering function returns a list, or you may call it an array or what, but it's a list. What other languages we call arrays? Okay, it will be in this form. Then some steps here like that. That's the list they mean here. Yeah. This filter function returns a list. And then this to set, we return this as a set. Customers do, because it is mapping. Mapping is a way of iterating. It is like it is iterating through all the given customers. Then it is finding this. So those guys who have tried things like JavaScript, you have also seen this map function and the filter function. Majorly, this map function, it is very common. When you are trying to iterate through a list, through number of steps, this is the function that works. Then this alone, if we had removed this, it should have returned a list also. A map returns a list. But here we are saying, that's why we are taking the advantage of what they were showing us in the introduction. So this is a function that is already done in Kotlin that will help us perform a certain activity. So this one converts what you have here to a set. So let's run this. I think it will work, of course. Then come here. We have this. Check all customers are from, then city, the given city. So they want us to implement all the functions below using all, all any count and find. So it's like what we have done above. The changing part is this. So here, we are returning all the customers from the city. We are not filtering, we are not doing anything, all of them just at once. Then return if there is at least one. This means that you are checking if at least there is only one customer. That's when you should return, that's the NA. Then this will return the number, it will count. Then this will look for the exact thing. This is like, you can use this as a search. This is like the search thing now. Now it will find that specific customer in that specific city. Yeah, so proceed. Then they are saying implement customer.get other products and shop.get all ordered products using flat map. Yeah, actually here, this part I didn't do it alone. I had to go online because I never knew how the flat map was working. But this is what I found out, the way it works. So I just implemented this. Because this is not common to other languages. These other ones are common. Filtering and mapping, they are common to other languages. These other functions we have been seeing here, these ones are common. These other functions are common. Only the implementation is different. But when it came to the flat map, I didn't know about this. So I had to inquire from Google. So I can't explain much here. But I think this flat map is like JavaScript's weak set and strong set, then set. So now flat map is like another function of mapping. What I understood that it will also iterate through the products, then return something like a list, to return a map. Can I say map? But let me call it a list. Then that's why we need this, convert it to a set, because they are saying return all products, this customer's order. We want it to return it as a set, so that's why we are adding the to set. Then also here, it's still the same story, we are implementing these two. Okay. Then the maximum and the minimum, I don't know why it is even showing an error. So here they were saying return a customer whose order count is the highest among all customers. So this is how we return the max. Yes, Andrew. Yes. Yes, Andrew. Andrew.
Ezra.
Okay, maybe use the chat.
We have 4 minutes to finish up. You have 4 minutes to finish up, and we'll go to something else. Yes, you have 4 minutes.
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Okay. So I was showing you this is how they return the max. In Kotlin, you say max by, then you give what it will be searching to find the max. This by is like if you're saying find the max by size, find the max by 8. So then the by will look for what you have passed here and we use that. Now this is the same thing here, but now we are changing to use a flat map. Then sort. Oh, sort. Sorting. Now here, the same thing, you are calling the customer sorted by. Now this by will be asking you what are we sorting by. Other languages like Python will be telling you something like order, then you order by something. Now here sort, you'll be sorted by, then you pass what you want to sort by. Now that's when it will begin sorting it. By default, this will do it in ascending order. Then now you can research about how you can sort then in descending order. Some you also sum by. This is the thing, sum by. You call this function on the fragment. Now here we are returning a list of the orders, then we are finding the sum. But we are finding the sum of one thing. In that list, we are saying pick the prices and you sum them and then return the value. Then group by, I'll be quick here. So here group by is like also order by in other languages or group by in other languages also. So here we are grouping by city. So those that are in the same city will fall here. But we are saying customers in the same city. So we are grouping by. Partition. Partition. Now here, it's like you are dividing the whole thing into two. So we have this flag which is delivered, which will be either true or false. Yes? Now this flag, you are saying, look for where the orders partition them by if they are delivered. Then return that in form of a set. So it will return only those that are delivered, and then actually it will return both, but showing you the delivered and the undelivered. Fold. This is also new. I didn't know much about this. Fold, I've never heard of it before. It is not common in other languages. This is special with Kotlin alone. I've never had it in any other languages I've been through. Compound tasks. Now you will also read about this on your own because it's also new to other languages. It's not common. But the implementation is just gotten from this other. You see the flat map. Yeah. Then I think this is where it ends. Here we are getting the length and we are using the group by. Then here we are iterating. Then after iteration, we get the size, and then in that size, we find the maximum size. Here, we first iterate through, we first group by the length, then after grouping by length, we get all those lengths, we group them by size, then we find the maximum. Then, now the rest are just from the above, the way we've been seeing these. That's it for corrections. Yeah, Andrew, back to you. I think they are done.
Oh yeah, so I'm also going back to Wesley and we wrap up. We've already gone beyond time. So Wesley, back to you also.
Okay, thank you, Ezra. That was a very nice presentation. I hope we've learned something from Kotlin, and possibly I hope we are inspired to go and do more with Kotlin, explore it, and find out the possibility. We will catch up again in January next year. This Wednesday, we always have a family meeting. We call it family. That is for the leads all over Sub-Saharan Africa. The program manager tried to tell us that the 2021 solution challenge is in the pipeline. Okay. Now, the solution challenge will officially, Google will officially announce it on January 12th. But as leads, we already have this information, and it is my hope that share it with you and we start the planning. Guys who are physically here, please, this is really, really important for us all. So let's turn to the solution challenge. I'm going to load it up here and we'll see what it is. I'm going to share my screen to the virtual guys and they see. Okay, the solution challenge. So what you're just seeing here is still the 2020 solution challenge. The solution challenge is for all developer student clubs in the world. Over 1,600 clubs participate in this challenge. In 2019, the winner was Muni University from Uganda. Yes, globally, like beating up all the universities and colleges in the world. They became the winner. They had an immunization application where you can check whether you've been, your kid has been immunized or not, or maybe whether you missed a date. So the 2020, we also had this time American guys trying to take us and some guys from Europe. This was the demo day. When I showed my profile, some of you saw a badge where I attended that demo day. These guys were trying to demonstrate to us what they had done. Google picks out the top 10 winners. Top 10 from 1,600 plus clubs. So you can see these are just highlights, the top 10 winners showcasing. This was the agenda we had. These are the speakers. Here is Erica Hanson. She's the overall lead of all developer student clubs in the whole world. Yes, I'm also a lead here at MAST, but in the Google developer community, she's my lead globally. So she's always the host of this solution challenge. And then we have other Googlers coming in, talking to us at the time of the demo day. So what is the solution challenge? This is just an annual contest by developer student clubs where student developers are required to sit down and develop local solutions. Developer student clubs are university-based communities that go out of campus to the local communities. So in trying to develop solutions, we try to base on the problems in those local communities. You don't come and start developing a solution for Kenya and yet you're in Mbarara. Look around Mbarara, what is the problem that we have and what solution can you develop? Okay, so when Google officially announces this, the 2021 Solution Challenge on January 12th, it will be the start of a marathon. Like, sit down, think about what you're going to develop, and submit it in March. Yes. You can start working on it right now. When they open, you say, okay, thank you for opening, but I'm still working. And then when it reaches 31st March, you've submitted your solution. Now, it's not a must, but at least every club is required to submit a solution. And this is how we do it. If we are a club of, let's say, 100 people, 100 people, we create teams amongst us. Now, each team has a maximum of 4 people. Each team has a maximum of 4 people. I may choose to be with, let's say, Brian, Henry, and Andrew. Those are 4. So we create our own solution under DSC Mbarara University. Then other people like Jasper, Matthew, and other guys sit down and also form a 4 team members group and also create a solution under DSC Mbarara University. So I pick up all those solutions from all those teams and I submit them in the name of DSC Mbarara University. Now, this is how you get into the solution challenge, but the solution remains 100% yours. Google does not retain the copyright or any rights over your solution challenge. However, when you submit your solution to them, you earn a platform where you can host your application, where you get into Google resources, you're taken into the mentorship, the Google mentorship program, and you can always sometimes be financially supported. There are people who get Chromebooks, people who get swags, people who get money out of this. So we need to start preparing. As we go out to the festivals, we need to start thinking hard. What is MUST going to do? This is a very new club at the university. When we were having this club, the university was asked why it wanted the club. I was interviewed, people like Andrew were interviewed, and we tried to defend and show why we need this club here. Now, it is time for us to go out to the challenge. I mean, showcase what we can do as MUST students, okay? And it is open to every student. The club is open to every student, even if it's education or what. So you can partner up with members from other courses, as long as they are part of your idea. I mean, they share in your idea and you're willing to develop it together, okay? If I check here, this is where we always get the, let me share this tab to the people virtually. Okay, so this is the 2021 Solution Challenge. This information is still closed down to only me. It is not yet public because I'm the only person who can access this platform. So it is still closed down to me. I can see whatever is being planned and maybe tell you guys. So how the 2021 Solution Challenge is going to be done is we are going to base on the UN 17s. The UN 17s means the UN 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Your application, whatever you think about developing, should fall at least in 1 or 2 or 3 development goals. Your application does not in any way solve one of those goals or fall into one of those goals, it will be ignored or disqualified when it's being reviewed. So we have those goals like number 1 is no poverty. If you're going to develop a solution that will end poverty in Mbarara, you're well good to go. If you're going to say zero hunger, you're going to develop a platform that will enable people have access to food, then you're within the UN 17s. Good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation. We have affordable and clean energy. We have decent work and economic growth. We have industry, innovation and infrastructure. We have reduced inequalities. Then sustainable cities and communities. This is where the smart homes, smart cities come in. Yeah, if you can do a solution in that, you're well within the scope. We have responsible consumption and production. We have climate action. Going to do an application that maybe creates awareness about climate change or does data processing. We have a lot of data sets on climate change. You can do that. Life below water. This is the protection of anything that is within water and anything that is stopping things that shouldn't be in water but are going into water. For instance, now and again, we get to pollute our lakes, our rivers, our oceans. These things are not supposed to be in water. So in protecting life underwater, we need to also maybe create an awareness that, hey guys, stop dumping polythene bags in water, okay? And then we can also have life on land, yes, also protect the life on land. We can protect the life underwater, we can also protect life on land, including animals and birds. We have a lot of animals that are going into extinction and they need protection. Then we have peace, justice, and strong institutions. If you believe there needs to be rule of law, you can devise a solution in that area. And then lastly, we have partnerships for the goals, okay? So whatever solution you need, you want to think of needs to fall within those 17 sustainable development goals. And also this should be a hint to us, second year students and first year students, in writing your project, especially the second years. Yeah, at the end of this, you're going to submit your project proposals. Trust me, the research committee always looks out for these goals in your project. You don't just come up with a project. That's what happens. Like when you come back, you realize that your proposal was rejected or declined. This is what they're always looking out for. Does your project solve something real, something that is happening? Hunger is here, poverty is here. These are things that are real. So does your project solve them? You're going to, let's say, you may come up with something like, I want to do a project that is going to help the people who are going to Mars. Okay, that sounds innovative, but how does it benefit the world? Okay, people here are facing hunger and you're thinking about people at Mars. Come on, this is a project, it's already well facilitated. Okay, I know you're trying to be innovative, like how can you even think of Mars? That's the big brain, but it doesn't help the people on Earth. Okay, so whenever you think about your final year project, the project you're going to submit to the solution challenge, it should be within the UN 17. So where does your project fall? How do you even start doing this project? Google has given us steps of how you can do that. First, it's just a matter of identifying a problem, okay? Now this falls under the design principles of Google. The people that were a part of the first session, we talked about the design principles. For every Google product, they follow the same design principle. Those guys never change. So first they will identify a problem, and secondly, they will identify a solution for that problem. Then they will design the interfaces, and then design the technology itself, and find, that's just it, four things. The other part is always, the fifth part is testing. Okay, so you've identified the problem, you've identified the solution, you've designed your interfaces very well, you've designed the technology behind. Let's say if it was hardware, or even if it is software, the back end part, what happens with your solution, then you test, and all is done. So I have all these videos, like for instance, what are you supposed to have in mind when you're identifying a problem? There is a video from a Googler trying to explain what you're supposed to do. If you're going to identify a solution, what should guide you? What are you going to do in identifying a suitable solution for the problem? And as well as designing your interfaces and designing the technology itself. So the resources, yeah, we have a lot of resources. Now, for you to understand your solution, we have the user journey mappings, the user interviews, experience mapping, design principles and success metrics, the crazy eights, that's when you're doing your sketches, the methodologies, everything is here. And then the technical resources. Now the technical resources are going to fall under where your solution falls. If you're going to do an Android application, okay, if you think that your solution is going to be an Android application, then we have basics, the resources of how you can do your first Android app, maybe in Java or maybe in Kotlin. If you're going to do Flutter, we also have that. Flutter part 1, if you're going to do an application, how can you do it? Part 1, part 2, how can you do the Cappuccino apps? How can you do the Google Maps? How can you do the beautiful user interfaces in Flutter? All those resources are available. If you're going to do TensorFlow, the Andrew and Patrick people, not me, you're going to know how you can write Hello World in machine learning. You can do introduction to CV, that is OpenCV. You can do convolutions, the CNNs, and complex images. So all those resources, even pieces of code, are available for you. You're going to do Google Assistant. You want to do anything with boards, with Google Assistant, the resources are there. Firebase. For instance, you're doing a mobile application and you want to integrate it with Firebase. I mean, like Firebase is going to be your back end. Then how to do that? How to do Cloud Firestore on Android, how to do Cloud Firestore on web, how to do Firestore on iOS. All the resources are with me. And it is my intention to fully share these resources with you guys when you form teams. You form a team, you say, okay, we are going into this challenge, and this is what we intend to do. And then I'll scrap off all the materials, all the resources, and hand them down to you. So you can work along with these materials. You're going to do data science and analysis, data analysis on the cloud. The resources are all there. You want to do mobile. You want to do mobile and web on cloud. You want to do a cloud application. Everything is there. How do you run an app engine in Python? How do you run an app engine in Java, in ASP.NET, Node.js, MySQL? All these resources are available. So when you're going to, when you set out your journey to work on these solutions, know that there's a backup of resources and materials to utilize. And then you can always attend technical workshops. I'll always inform you guys if there is a technical workshop. And if you want to be inspired, you can always get messages from the winners. From the past winners, they tell you what they went through and what they did. Yeah, this is where they're talking about Muni University. This was their application. They did an immunization calculator to calculate if I immunize today, the application is supposed to record that I was immunized today, then I'm supposed to have the next immunization in 14 days. So it will calculate and keep reminding you that you have an immunization. So this is what they did, and they were the 2019 Solution Challenge winner. In fact, it's my intention that early next year, we have, it could either be a virtual session or online session with Samuel Mogisha, the student at Muni University who was at the forefront of this. I've had interactions with him, and I know he's willing to share with us what he went through, okay? So they had Mogisha, they had Joshua Bukenya, and Samuel Intwaru. So it's always a team, okay? And you get this. Now, if you go to Google, if you go to life@google.com, if you go there, all these stories are there. And then imagine how many people get to visit life@google.com. So many. And they would land on and say, okay, so it is Sam who did this. Wow, this is amazing. And they would catch up with you. I mean, this guy, Sam is now a big man, Sam Mugisha. Getting him nowadays is a very hard task. He's now a big man. His solution is out there, it's shining, okay? And he owns. Now, you see, this is the better thing with Google. We've had innovation hubs. Physically here in Mbarara, we do have them. But in most cases, they'll tell you, okay, so bring your solutions, let's work on your solution. And then when it reaches production, these guys literally own 80% of your project, or even 100%. And you, the developer, is not benefiting anywhere, okay? But Google says, hey, we've given you resources, we've given you materials, do your thing. All we are going to do is put it out there for people to see. We can even sponsor you, we can even mentor you, but it remains your solution. If you want to walk away and go to South Africa to launch it, you don't need to write to Google and inform them. No, it's your product and you're the CEO, okay? So this is the beauty about this solution challenge. So you can always visit the DSC story pages for more. Okay. So basically, that's what I have. That's what I have on Solution Challenge. The people that are online and have questions, you can please type them in the chat area. Those who are physically here, you can also ask me, and then we wind this up. Just have very few minutes left, and we get done. Questions? Gilbert. Hey, questions on this? Okay, the roadmap is now that we the leads have been informed, and I'm now passing this information to you, it means we've kicked it off, okay? It's now upon you to sit down, think about a problem, think about a solution, and even go ahead and design, okay? But officially on to Google, they are going to open on January 12th, okay? They open, we start submitting in our solution, like our ideas that can be reviewed, okay? We start developing them, and then in between January to March 31st, we have to submit a working prototype of our solution, including a video part. You need to record a video of 2 minutes showcasing how your application works. You need to write some, short description about it, giving out your presentation and all that. And also, I'm going to talk to the university through our faculty advisor. We will have the mass solution demo day. I mean, before we submit to Google, can we first present to ourselves? So new teams get a day, you present your solutions to the university community, the lecturers are there, other students are there, and then they say, yeah, that's the product to represent us, okay? So when we are done with the demo day, we can now submit. So it's just up to you. If right now you already have the idea, you already have your roadmap. When they officially open, you're already progressing. Trust me, there is a university, the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. I was talking to the lead, he told me, you know what, me and my team, we already said. Why? Because for him, he knew how this went on. He was part of the last year's solution challenge, so he always knew that we have to be 4 teams, that we have to work before, so he was already prepared. Now, us, we're just getting this information now, and quite early. So as we go to the festives, just think about it, start working on it. Look around here and say, hey, dude, I need you on my team, okay? Just make sure that your team does not exceed 4 people. And you all don't have to be programmers. That's the problem we face in creating teams. You want everyone, you can have one guy who says, I'm going to edit the video of our presentation, I'm going to work on the presentations, I'm going to work on the write-up, I'm going to work on the interfaces, I'm going to work on any other thing, okay? Maybe this is the guy who is morale boosting you. Every time you're down, he takes you to Rolex booth, you eat, you come back. You just have to create a team of 4 people. And that's all, okay? You don't have to sweat. And it doesn't depend on the year. I mean, if you think you can fit in my team or I can fit in your team, you're welcome to approaching me and say, hey, let's do this together. Because at the end of it all, Google doesn't want to know whether you're in first year or second year. The DCS lead for Cavalier University is a first year student. So they don't want to know. So let's think about this. Any communication, any other questions that you really have, you can always ask me or Andrew. Ezra is asking me whether now it's not accessible. The information, the resources, I do have them, and we can start working with these resources that I have. However, Google will officially open the challenge in January. But now that we know, we can beat them at their game and start working straight away. Imagine if you're going to do a mobile application, it could take a lot of time. January to March is a very short time. We have exams in January. Most likely, we are supposed to resume the other academic year in Feb. Yes. Most likely, we are to resume in Feb. Like Feb, we start first semester, finish in May, go for intern, still come in August. That's what is likely to happen. So if you're going to think we are doing exams in January, you go back to sleeping and wait for August, sorry. Things changed. COVID came and turned the whole world upside down. So we are on a roller coaster. Okay, so basically, I'm done. I'm going to stop recording the session for these guys, and it will be available on YouTube today night. By around 7, I should have the video and I will upload it. Share it to your friends who missed, please. Let's not be in this situation where we have knowledge, we have resources, we have materials, but do not wish to share to other people. That's not how developer communities work, okay? So I don't see any other questions online, so bye guys, I'm done here.
If you have any questions before we close, if you have any questions, unmute and talk. Any questions? Ezra?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm not saying anything.
Caroline, Edgar, if you have any questions, Andrew?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, I think we'll close. Weasley, you can close the session. There are no questions.